Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, it's Helen. Grace Islander approached me the other day to see if I'd like to do a collaboration and in fact do a recipe challenge as part of her July Scrapathon. So of course I said yes. And that's the layout that I created. Now you might be wondering, what are those green leaves in the corner, Helen? They're not in the final layout. Well, I did have this great idea of stenciling leaves because the photos are of myself and my friend Marita, and we had a weekend away at a scrapbook retreat at a place called Gumnuts Retreat in the bush here in WA, and I thought the leaves were kind of fitting. But then as I started creating the page, I didn't really like them after all, and so I got rid of that white piece of paper and did something different. So that was the original idea, but doesn't stay around for much longer. I pulled out the One Canoe 2 Hazelwood collection from a couple of years ago, mainly because the colours went with the photo and I'd seen the square that said love to create, and I thought that actually went with the idea of the layout. So I started playing around with the patterned papers, and you can see I've included at least 4 patterned papers, admittedly only small bits of them, but there are multiple patterned papers there. And as you can see, as I started building, and then there were all these butterflies on one piece of paper, and I decided to fussy cut them out, and it just wasn't working with that green stenciling in the corner. So I decided to do something different, and I arranged the butterflies down the side there, and I thought, oh, some inking behind that would be nice. So I pulled out some distress ink and a round foam applicator and started applying some broken china distress oxide ink actually. And after I layered it up and got a nice intense blue down the one side, I was ready to reposition my butterflies. I got a bit heavy-handed though with, as you can see right there, with the ink. I had this idea of maybe doing dots on it, but once I did one, I was like, oh no, good idea, but not for this layout, Helen. And I pulled out some water, because the great thing about distress oxide or distress inks is that they react with water, and with a bit of sopping it up, I added some more, and what happens is the ink reacts with the water, and by dabbing it up, it actually lifts the colour. And then I decided that those butterflies looked quite cute on that blue bit of inking, although it is a bit heavy in the middle. And then I got the idea of, if I actually lined them up, I could sew along the centres. So as you saw, I faintly traced a straight line, put glue either side of the body part of the butterflies, so that way when I go to sew them, there's no glue on the needle. I realised I needed one more butterfly, and then you can see I'm positioning, trying to space them out evenly, and I glue them all down, just as I said, a bit either side of the body, no glue in the centre of the butterflies. Pulled out my sewing machine and quickly sewed all the way along. Got a relatively straight line. It helped having the pencil line there. I just attached the ends at the back with some double-sided tape without taking the backing tape off, so that way threads don't come undone. And because I've got that quite solid piece of the blue ink, that's where I'm going to position my photo. Well, that's right, I pulled out, that was a border strip sitting on my desk, and I thought, oh, that would look good. I did position it on the right-hand side originally, but it just didn't quite work. And when I placed it on the left, I was like, yeah, I actually quite like that. So as you can see, I've positioned the photo over that dark cluster of the blue ink just to hide it. And that is often my theory, that if you do make a mistake or you do something that you don't particularly like, you just keep building and eventually you can work with it. Well, that's the theory anyway. I'm not quite sure that I achieved that with my clusters today, but oh well, at least it's done. As you can see, I added some rub-ons. I haven't used them in a long time, And the thickers from the recipe challenge, I'm not sure if Grace Islander really meant the foam thickers for alphabets, but technically the chipboard ones that I've got there that says life does say thickers on the packet, so I'm going with that. Also pulled out that label sticker just to tie in the sweet, or have a backing for the sweet word so it wasn't floating around. In real life it's a bit easier to see than it is on camera, but I'm just fiddling with what's available to make a title. I will do a little bit of journaling and build on my title. It will end up saying, life is sweet when you create. Which, is pretty true. I liked the idea of including these flowers, but one of the leaf clusters was in the wrong spot. So I did a bit of trimming, and by cutting and trimming some embellishments, it just allows you to use them the way you want to use them. There's nothing that says you have to keep them exactly the way they come in the packet. And I'm just adding 3 flowers, and you can see I will trim that one right down until I just get a little blue flower and 1 leaf. And I try to keep to lots of 3, obviously not with the butterflies, but 3 rub-on butterflies, 3 flowers, 3 stars, 3 gems, and that repetition of 3 is pleasing to the eye, or so I'm told anyway. And here you can see I'm just creating the extra bit of my title. And a little tiny bit of journaling, just saying that Marita and I had fun on our retreat. And here you can see I'm adding the bling. And I pulled out this old set of Tim Holtz stickers to add to that good piece off the chipboard as well. So it says good time. And I also pulled out 3 arrows as well. And I'm finishing off with a sprinkling of gold Heidi shine that I've also had in my collection for quite a while as well. So I covered everything on the recipe challenge. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I can't wait to see what Anna's done. Thanks, Anna, for asking me to join in. Take care, everyone. See you later. Bye.